Number one, the Toronto Ball Club Blue Jays, Ross Atkins, our buddy, fired Charlie Montoyo, the manager. I was a bit of a surprise. I did not see that coming. He just signed an extension on April 1st through 2023. When teams do that, and then all of a sudden they change course in a couple of months, 3 months, it always makes you wonder what's going on. If you thought this was this precarious now, why'd you give an extension then? I never quite get that. But the Blue Jays had been stumbling around. They had lost 9 of 10, really hadn't quite taken off, had shown you signs all year long that they were ready to fly, and they got stalled from a variety of reasons across the way. Yankees beat them an awful lot, and then they got hot, and then they turned around and lost 3 in a row to Tampa in Toronto. Then they went to Oakland, had trouble there, got buried in Seattle, and Atkins and I'm sure Shapiro helped them make the decision, decided to make a change. Who knows if this is going to work? Again, I was surprised. The Blue Jays are young team with a lot of expectations on them, and those teams always make you very concerned because obviously they got to deal with some adversity over a long 162. You wonder if they can handle that. I know they got a lot of swagger and they got an aura about them, but they have not really been hunted in their lives, and now they are, and they haven't responded that well. Only 4 games over 500. Atkins put his cards on the table. Montoya's out. We'll see if this assistant does a halfway decent job. They've won a couple of games here right out of the gate. They beat the Phillies. Now, I hate what Kansas City did, but Kansas City beat them last night. But I hate the vaccination issue with the Royals. 10 guys not available. I mean, that to me is just, when you work for a ball club and the team needs you, you got to get the vaccination shots. And the Royals are going to tell you, you know what, we did our best. They're not in our division. We're not making the playoffs anyway. But still, I mean, that's just, I hate that. The whole team not there, but they won their first game. Concerned about Toronto, where they stand in the American League East. Concerned about the Red Sox, too, because their ineptitude continues as far as divisional play is concerned. They've lost 3 series to Toronto. They've lost 3 series now to Tampa. They've lost a series and they tied one to the Yankees, and they've lost 2 series to the Orioles. Add it up. They have been awful in the American League East. 4 straight losses to the Rays down in, and they are not playing well going in. They had gotten swept by the Reds. 4 straight losses down in Tampa. Sale pitched well, but they lost that game. They got a good game last night, and they still lost. Bullpen imploded at the wrong time. Verdugo got picked off third base in a big sequence there a couple nights ago. I think they were down by a run. That was awful. A lot of things you don't like about the Red Sox. Their inconsistencies against the division. Now, listen, there's time to recover. Somebody in that division or in that league is going to make the playoffs with 85, 86 wins. Evaldi pitches tonight. Sale was good there in his first start. Here goes Sunday. They got a lot of games against the Yankees, and including this series tonight. But the Red Sox seem to be a team that's going to be teetering on the edge of playoff contention and not the edge of playoff contention for the rest of the year. They'll probably win around 84 to 87 games in that category. Maybe they make a trade. We'll see if they do that. They're not going to upset the apple cart for down the road just to add a reliever in and then hurt themselves in the future. They won't do that, but they would think add a little help, especially in that bullpen. They can use a bat. Their first baseman doesn't hit. We shall see what they do, but that was a horrendous series. After 2 good wins against the Yankees, where they won the Saturday night game, maybe the most exciting game of the year with the Verdugo 2-out, 2-run single, and then they came from behind and won Sunday, and then they go to Tampa and they get ambushed. Very, very poor performance by Boston. They're in trouble. Good job by the Rays. Every time you think they're out, they play well. Every time you think they're going to play well, they fall apart. A la the series in Cincinnati last week, coming off a good trip to Boston and Toronto. They finished up that road trip with 3 straight losses at Great American Ballpark. But a nice job by Tampa here these 3 games, or 4 games. They got clutch hits. Bullpen did a very good job. McClanahan's a good pitcher. They're 9 games over 500. They're being the upper 80s, right around the 88 number. The Blue Jays and Red Sox, who knows where they'll be, maybe in the mid-80s. Upper 80s should get you into the postseason. Tampa's got a chance now, in good shape there. Number 4, the Orioles. Brandon Hyde will join us a little bit later on. I'm not ready yet to think that the Orioles are going to go from oblivion to 500 to contention. Those are huge steps to make in one calendar year. So I'm not ready to say that yet, but I thought they'd struggle a little bit in Chicago off of the emotion of the Angels series, where they won 4 games, a couple of them last pitch at bats. But they went to Chicago, they won a couple, had a nice day off, helps them. Now they go to Tampa for the weekend. I think they got the Yankees this week too. The Orioles have gotten good pitching, some clutch hitting. Kid out in the bullpen's got a lot of saves. They got a good karma about them right now. Over 500 again. You know, the Orioles are not going to make the playoffs. I don't care if they say I'm nuts, if they want. I'm here to tell you what I think. And that's what I think right now after 90-something games. But the Orioles have served notice that they're on the come. The Orioles have served notice that better days are ahead. And they have served notice that they're going to play for real, next year and a half. They probably will finish right around, 78, 77 wins. Tough division, but a heck of a job by Baltimore. Already they've had a great year. Already in middle of July, the Orioles had a good season. Already you can say that, so good for them. And then finally that leads us to the Yankees. I'm not going to make too much of the Reds series, losing 2 out of 3. They've lost 4 out of 5. Cincinnati's awful, I understand that. But I'm not going to make it. And Castillo was excellent yesterday. We'll see where he gets traded to. But I am not going to make a big deal about the Yankees here with their 1-loss record and everything else. They're going to be there at the end of the day. They'll be there right with Houston and see who wins the American League Championship when those two teams, I think, play a best of 7 in mid-October. I would be concerned if I'm a Yankee fan about Severino. I know the Yankees think it's not a serious situation, but he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. It's a lat issue. He's had a lot of injuries in the past. 4 to 6 weeks takes you to middle of August. Another couple of weeks to rev up again, and then all of a sudden you're in September. Still plenty of time left. I understand that. They don't need him for regular season baseball. I understand that, but you would be a little concerned right now about Sevy because he's had a lot of injuries, and the Yankees have to have him in the postseason. They have to have him. I don't think it's enough with Cole, Cortez, Tyone, and Montgomery. They need Severino. He's got postseason experience. He's been a very good postseason pitcher. He's had his good moments. They need him. I'm assuming he's going to be okay in October, but you never know. He's had a ton of injuries. Came back from that Tommy John, took forever. Then he had some other issues. So anytime he's on an IL, you have to somewhat raise an eyebrow, and that's what I'll do with the Yankees right now. And there's going to be a bidding war for Castillo. Why the Reds want to trade him, I don't know anyway. Wouldn't you want to build around this kid instead of going out there and unloading him for a bunch of prospects who may or may not be any good? But sounds like Cincinnati's in the market now to shop him. Dodgers, Yankees, and don't sit on the Astros. The Astros have always made these deals middle of the year to fortify. Perfect example is Verlander. That was at the end of the year. They brought in Greinke. He's a good GM. The owner spends money. Wouldn't shock me. I don't know what their farm system looks like. They're not going to give up Kyle Tucker for him. But, you'd like to think that they might be able to do something. I wouldn't be shocked. And they don't need that much pitching. But anybody doesn't want Castillo after that performance last night at Yankee Stadium. Unhittable. 7 innings of 2-hit baseball. That is something to keep an eye on. Number one thing about the Yankees with Castillo, if he gets traded, he's going to get traded to a team that the Yankees are going to have to end up beating to win the whole thing. He's not getting traded to the Angels. If he gets traded, he's getting traded to the Dodgers, a team like that. And at the end of the day, that's who the Yankees are going to probably have to go through to win a championship. And remember, this year doesn't count if you're a Yankee fan unless you win a title. They don't want to hear it, but it's true. So keep that in mind. Maybe the Yankees need to go out there and bring Castillo in here so somebody else doesn't get him, which would then thwart them in October.